The United States just crossed $39 trillion in national debt. And it only took 5 months to add the last trillion. Let that sink in. 5 months, $1 trillion gone. We are borrowing money faster than most countries even produce it. And the scary part is that almost nobody at the dinner table is talking about it the way they should be. The conflict with Iran has already cost us roughly $12 billion. And that tab is still running like a broken taxi meter in Manhattan. Now, before you scroll away thinking this is just another number too big to feel, let us make it personal. 90% of Americans in recent polls say rising debt is directly making their groceries, their mortgages, and their credit cards more expensive. That is not abstract economics. That is your wallet getting lighter every single month, while Washington argues about the ceiling on the credit card they already maxed out. The White House is out here calling their policies pro-growth, which, to be fair, sounds a lot better than pro-borrowing your grandchildren into oblivion. Meanwhile, independent fiscal watchdogs, people with no political horse in the race, are using phrases like the definition of unsustainable. And those are not words that economists throw around lightly. To understand how we got here, you have to zoom out, because this did not happen overnight. It happened in layers, like a very expensive and slightly irresponsible lasagna. Pandemic relief, tax cuts, federal interest payments, and now active military spending have stacked on top of each other like financial Jenga, and someone keeps pulling blocks from the bottom. Think of the national debt like a snowball rolling downhill. It was manageable when it was small. But the interest alone now compounds faster than new revenue can realistically offset it. We are essentially paying the minimum balance on a national credit card, and the interest charges are starting to dwarf the original purchases. Here is the historical irony that should make you laugh and cry simultaneously. Every single generation for the past 50 years has said, we will fix the debt later, and later keeps becoming now. The 1980s called it supply-side economics. The 2000s called it wartime necessity. The 2010s called it stimulus. And now we are calling it, well, we are still workshopping the branding. Markets have not fully panicked yet. And that creates a dangerous false sense of security, because historically, fiscal crises do not arrive gradually, they arrive suddenly. Japan, Greece, Argentina, different contexts, yes. But the common thread is that the moment confidence breaks, it breaks fast and it breaks hard. Here is what the debt ceiling debates always miss. The ceiling itself is not the problem. It is the spending architecture underneath it that nobody wants to structurally reform. Cutting the deficit slightly while the debt still climbs is like being proud you are only gaining 2 pounds a week instead of 3. You are still gaining weight. The projection that we could hit 40 trillion before the fall elections is not a scare tactic. It is math. And math, unlike politicians, does not negotiate. $40 trillion means every man, woman, and child in America would owe roughly $119,000 if we divided it equally, and nobody remembers signing up for that loan. So what do ordinary people actually do with information like this? Panic sell their house, stuff cash in a mattress, move to a cabin? No, and here is where the practical lesson lives. Historically, the best financial moves during high debt, high inflation environments involve hard assets, disciplined budgeting, and avoiding the emotional reaction of doing nothing or doing everything at once. Real estate, for example, has long served as a hedge against dollar devaluation because land does not print more of itself the way the Treasury prints more dollars. The philosophical truth buried in all of this is that systems this complex do not collapse or correct because one person figured it out. They shift because enough individuals made rational, prepared decisions at the personal level. You cannot fix $39 trillion, but you can absolutely fix your own balance sheet. And that is where real power actually lives. Discipline, position sizing, and consistency matter infinitely more than trying to time the macro collapse that every newsletter has been predicting for the last 15 years. Whether the debt gets managed responsibly, inflated away quietly, or finally triggers a reckoning, the people who prepared rationally will have options. And options are everything. Whatever happens next at the federal level, your job is to be the person who built the lifeboat before checking the weather forecast. And if you want help getting started, whether through real estate investing, home contracting, or finding the right lenders, check out our links in the description below.